question of ethics always comes up. I mean, what are ethics? You ask somebody to define ethics, you're going to get various definitions. I have a simple one. Ethics is doing and saying what is right at the time. People forget that. So you have eternal ethics based on some mythology you invent. You're going to have crises if you think that's eternal as society changes. Even Jefferson said it. I was at the Jefferson Memorial, and Jefferson, he said these words, and Jefferson said, things change. You've got to be prepared to change the Constitution and amend it. And I turned to the people around me and I said, who cares? Beautiful words, who reads them? And they don't mean anything when you read them, because based on the philosophy dominating our secular legislative activity, we have eternal ethics that dictate how our laws are made and what our laws will say. Despite television, advances in medicine, miracles in space, we have eternal ethics. It's a problem. Timing, an example. If I were to be very nice to you as a reporter, and I said, hey, I got a gift for you for your birthday, I'm going to give you this little portable mechanical typewriter, you'd say, wow, what a nice gift, you know, cynically, whereas 40 years ago, 50 years ago, if I said that to you, you'd be pleased. Timing is important. Timing. What we're doing is long overdue. We're not leading, we're following. 500 years before Christ in ancient Greece, this was widely practiced by physicians openly. The whole society accepted it as medical practice, except the Pythagoreans, but they were kooky in a way, you know. They even smoked secretly, too, you know. The Pythagoreans said, no, no, no. By our faith, abortion is a sin. Assisting a suicide is a sin. But they said to this degree. You see, they were still rational Greeks. They said, that's for us only. You can't make that for the whole society, because society couldn't function that way. You see, they were rational. What do we say? It's a sin. It's a sin for everyone, even the whole world. So the Greeks were smarter than we are. We're behind the times. We're just struggling to get back to where the Greeks were. Rational medical practice devoid of religious mythology. I'm not against religion. I'm an agnostic, basically. What you have is fine, but when you foist that on me and make a law, well, I object strenuously, stridently, and I've been known to be strident. What I'm doing is medically ethical. What the AMA says to do is theologically ethical. I mean, in what other profession do you have another profession dictating your ethics? I mean, do you think an architect would like it if a priest or a rabbi came up to them and said, hey, the bridges you're building like that, or that building, the girder isn't put up right, you got to do it again, it's unethical. You'd be laughed away. So we have priests and rabbis and ministers coming to a doctor and saying, hey, that's the way to do it. That's the way to do the heart transplant. That's what you do. That's beautiful. And the body is sacred? I never studied sanctity in a medical school. Sanctity is an invention of the human mind. What is sanctity? Define sanctity. I bet you couldn't get any kind of consensus in this audience. What is sanctity? Divinity, holiness, the whole body is sacred? When I take a gallbladder out of a body, or a surgeon does the gallbladder, when it's removed, become sacred? Or better yet, if I put a baboon's heart into a human, does that heart become sacred, or do you have a sacred body with a profane heart, as if that made any sense? So if you carry this mythologic borborygmus to its extreme, it becomes absurd. Even a child will tell you that. But the child asks the questions, but we don't, because we're trained to lie as we get older. It's the way to survive. Lying is the grease of society to ourselves and to others. And the epitome of lying is the epitome of society, the government. I don't think what I've said is wrong so far. If there are any disagreements, I'll hear about it later. But the question I'm asking, does that baboon's heart become sacred? There's no answer for it. Why not? Is a human body partly sacred? Is the fecal material in your intestines sacred? You're a human body. You're a biological organism like any other biological organism. You bleed when you cut. When you die, you stink. What's sacred about that?